What's up, everybody? Welcome to the round 19 player ratings video. In today's video and for the next 5 player ratings videos, we are partnered with Doing a Bit. Now, this partnership comes from a gentleman named Mark Sanders, who has just started a new activewear brand. Met up with Mark last week. He wanted to get together and support the channel, and I love entrepreneurs, I love entrepreneurship, I love people who are go-getters, and I thought it was the perfect match. Now today, and for the next 5 weeks, I'm going to be giving away some packages that Mark's put for you guys. So you get a hat and a little package here with some bands and some lanyards and some stickers. Basically, what Doing a Bit is all about is just as it says, doing a bit, which unfortunately, a lot of the players that I'm going to be talking about in this video were not doing their bit. It's about just having an active lifestyle, whether you are working out in the gym, whether you are focusing on yourself, reading, swimming, whatever it is you are doing. It's about doing it to the best of your ability and having a go. So I like what he stands for, and I like his company. And yeah, you can check out his Instagram. The link is in the description below. Now, player ratings video. If you've never been here, welcome. What I like to do here is just start the conversation. I'll give each player a score out of 10, 5 being, the pass mark and above, and then below 5 is a fail on the day. Don't take them too seriously. They're not right, they're not wrong. It's just really just to get that closure for us as we move forward to the next round. I'll start the ratings here. You finish them in the comments below. I will tally everything up, and at the end of the year, we'll crown a champion based on the ratings and see how close we can get to the actual Carlton best and fairest. So, listen, today wasn't pretty in terms of the ratings. The game happened quite a few days ago. It's probably getting worse as I think about it, given what was at stake and the results that happened for us seemingly. But nonetheless, let's begin. We will start in the back line as the teams were named. Plowman, I thought early on he linked up well relatively. I actually thought for the most part we looked good in the first quarter. After that, I didn't really notice him too much, which isn't always a bad thing, but there were quite a few pieces of footage where he was out-positioned and gave up on contests, and he wasn't the only one. I didn't think he passed on the day, so I gave him a 4. Wiedering, I thought he gave Larky too much space, really, for most of the day. I don't know if it was just a respect thing or if he just had an off day. It's probably the worst game I've seen him play for the year and in quite some time. Wiedering's an interesting one because he's been great for a long time. Pretty much 2020 onwards, he's been, really, really good. And, it was an off day. And I can say that like that about Wiedering because he's got those credits in the bank, if you will. I gave him a 2. I know he'll bounce back. I have total faith that he'll bounce back. He's got that pride in himself and in his performance, and it just wasn't his day. So I gave him a 2. Stocker, I didn't notice him too much in the first half especially. I don't really think he touched the ball that much. But again, he's playing a defensive role, so it's not always about touches. I just thought overall on the day it was a 4. Zack Williams, it was actually really disappointing. I genuinely believed Zack Williams started to turn the corner. I thought the way he was running and providing an option looked ominous. I don't know when he did the hamstring, but he did it. I just thought he was great. I really did. I thought he was one of our better players to half-time. The entry kicks were good. He was tackling well. It's unfortunate. Do you put the blame on his preparation in the preseason? It's interrupted, obviously, with injury. I don't know. Just he hasn't been able to get going this year. I gave him a pass mark just based on where his game was going, but maybe it's an NA. I don't know. Let me get your feedback on that. What do you do with a guy that plays a half and doesn't play the second half? Probably the same with Mark Murphy. So we'll leave it there. He was definitely doing a bit, that's for sure. Liam Jones, he started well. He did. Intercept marking was there in that first quarter. Then the second quarter happened, and I don't know, just a lot of them just fell away. He lost the ball in transition for that mark. When was it? It was to Stevenson. And I wrote here what the fuck? He just lost the ball in transition. He was outmarked by Larky a couple of times, one in the third quarter and one in the fourth quarter. I thought it was a 4. I gave him a 4. It was just below a pass mark. He's a leader of the club, and I always give the defense credit when they defend well and we keep the teams to under 80 points, for example. But we got chopped up, and it wasn't completely the defense's fault because it is a team defense. But Jones for me is a leader on the day, and I really take that into context when grading anyone. So gave him a 4. Sard, his first possession of the day was turned inside out by Taron Thomas. He had that perfect entry kick to Matt Kennedy for his first goal. There was another kick with 9:30 to go in the second, I think. It was just long and high and not really what we needed. Then he had another great entry to Jack Silvani with 5:50 to go. I think that was in the third. He finds a way, Sardi, to get to that minimum standard, which I really like. I don't think he was one of our poorest performers. I thought he was one of our better performers on a day where there really were only, not that many that passed the test for me anyway. So I gave him just a bare pass mark. He works hard. He definitely does. Next up is Nunes, Walsh, and Willow. Nunes, he had that miss early in the first quarter. There was that courageous moment in the second quarter with 13:20 to go. Took that mark and then almost got cleaned up in the knees of, I think it might have been Goldstein. I'm not sure, but it was a courageous moment, which I love. I love those moments. They're important. They're important to see that the players are committing themselves to the cause. Beautiful entry to Jack Martin in that third quarter with 15 to go. There was the goal from the entry from Mark Murphy in the fourth with 19 to go, even though the fourth quarter was really done and dusted. But he did lift. He did show a little bit of pride, and I didn't think he was too bad. I gave him a 6 for his game. Walshy, look, he worked hard. A lot of people are saying, he didn't have his best game, which he didn't. He wasn't as prolific. But on an off day, he's had 27 touches, going at 77%. He's given away 5 free kicks, so I think it was just a frustrating day for Walshy. But again, if that's his minimum standard on an off day, we're in good hands. And that's what I look for. Like when it's not your day, like what can you do? Because you can't expect the players to be at their best for 22 rounds. And that's, I'm totally on board with that. But, when it's not your day, what can you salvage? And I thought he salvaged quite a lot for a third-year player. So I gave him a 6 for his game. Willow, I didn't notice him much in the first quarter. I noticed him a little bit more, get more comfortable at the level in that second quarter onwards. Ultimately, I don't expect much from Willow, so the bar isn't too high. I gave him a bare pass mark. I didn't think he was terrible to say it was a fail. Next up is Ed, Curnow, Jack Silvani, and Fisher. Ed, obviously his 200th game. He's been a great servant to the club. He works hard all the time. He turned the ball over quite a few times. He's just not clean. Obviously, 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, he turns the ball over and it becomes a direct goal to Stevenson. There was that poor entry kick to Nunes in the second quarter with 2 minutes to go. It was just long and high, and it's just not Ed's game. He doesn't have that ability to be more cleaner with his entries consistently. It is what it is. He kicked that unreal goal with, what was it, in the first quarter, I think. He just, on the left, it was very reminiscent of the goal against the Swans at Marvel, maybe 2018 or 19. But it was on his left, so yeah, good goal. Then there was the Larky goal. He sort of banged it on the boot, but backwards, and then it was a turnover, and they run it into goal, and Larky kicks another one. He just not clean, and Ed's a leader of the club, holds himself to high standards, and I just didn't think he met them, so I gave him a 4 for his game. Jack Silvani, I thought he was the one doing the most. Doing the most, not doing a bit, doing the most. He played hard, he tackled hard. Good mark on the lead, but he missed the goal with 5:30 to go in the first, I think. Beautiful kick to Nunes with 4 minutes to go in that second, maybe. Good kick to Zack Fisher for his miss, unfortunately. I thought he did his thing. He plays in the ruck as well and chops out there. I think he's had a really good month. His disposals and his ability to win his own ball has really started to come through, and I think he's building nicely to the end of this season for a real breakout year next year. Because, Jack was a guy that we were seeing, those 8, 9, 10 possession games and maybe a shot on goal here or there. Whereas now he's really upping it to 15 or more per game, which you don't expect from him, but he's giving it. In this case, it was 21 touches and 9 marks. So he's working around the ground. He's finally getting some continuity in his body and some game time. I don't want to touch wood. I don't want to jinx him. But yeah, so look, I gave him a 7. He was for me maybe even an 8. Yeah, I'm going to make it an 8 because he did play a consistent game all throughout. So yeah, I thought he was definitely the one doing the most or doing a bit. Zack Fisher, lively, always lively. Misses the shot in the first quarter, 7:20 to go. He was weaving through traffic well. I like it when he plays a little bit up the ground, spurts through the midfield. Ultimately, this is his second game back. He needs to get some continuity as well. 3, 4, 5 games in a row. Great pickup in the second, I think it was, with 13:40 to go. He had like a moment in the third where it was just a must-kick goal. He missed it, 4 minutes 30 to go. He ends up kicking a goal in the fourth with 15 minutes to go, but ultimately it was too little too late. He looked lively. He looks like a guy that's still, trying to get that continuity. He creates things. He does create things. I think at times he can work harder defensively, and there's a lot of them that can. You see on the screen, and it could be unfair because I'm not at the game, but on the screen you just see as North were transitioning from defense to offense, there's quite a few guys, you watch them above the play, and they're just not sprinting back, and I thought he was caught out a few times doing that. I know he's got that drive and work ethic in him. I just didn't think it was on display, and it could be the continuity, who knows, but I gave him just a bare pass mark. I don't know, that could be lenient, but I thought he created enough chances and got amongst it enough to give him a pass mark. Next up, Eddie Betts, Cripps and Martin. Eddie Betts, probably his worst game for the year, in my opinion. Didn't do too much. He went up for that screamer and hurt himself. That might have something to do with it. I gave him a 3 for his game. We just didn't really get much from him. Cripps, he worked hard in the first quarter. He had that unbelievable banana goal in the second with 16 to go. My most disappointing thing with Cripps' game was that he completely disappeared in the third quarter when North got on top. Obviously, he was asked to play forward to make up for the lack of size with Harry out of the side. And I felt like he reverted back to how he always plays, which is just wrestle. As a forward, you want to see him leading at the football. I don't think he did that, unless it was an instruction, unless Teague's game plan is one of such where he's asking us to bomb the ball, create a stoppage, and sort of score from a scrimmage. That can only be the reason why I think he was playing like that. But look, he's kicked a couple in the fourth quarter. Were they junk time goals? I don't know. It depends how you look at it. Ultimately, he's kicked 3. He's done his job. I think he's done his job, although I was really disappointed in that third quarter. Like, it was in that moment where we're getting 7 goals in a row kicked on us, you need your captain to stand up, and I took some points away from him for that, so I gave him just a bare pass mark. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I just expect more from Cripps. He's our captain, and if you can't expect it from your captain, you can't expect it from Zach Fisher or the others. So, gave him a pass mark. Jack Martin, I thought he worked hard. He brought that same intensity from last week. Kicked an important goal in the second quarter with 11 minutes to go. Unfortunately, the 13 seconds later from the centre bounce, we get a goal scored against us. There was a third quarter moment with 15 to go. He decided to kick on his left. I have no idea why he did that, but that's all I wrote for him. It was okay. I gave him a pass mark. I think that's a little lenient. Could be a 4. Again, all of these are up for debate for you in the comments, but I like when I see Jack Martin playing with that aggression, and I did think he played with it. So for that reason, I did give him a 5. De Koning, he was good. I mean, he got beaten on the day, but he just keeps going. And for me, these are just very important lessons for Tom. So I've got a bit more patience with him. He's for the first time in his career doing it on his own, being the number 1 ruckman. So I really have a leniency with him. He looks like he's learning every week. He gets beaten in contests, he does, but he backs up with effort in the next one, and he makes sure to keep going. I think he's growing. I think he's marking the ball more around the ground and providing more of an option. He had 6 marks, 17 touches. That's quite a lot for a ruckman, in my opinion, from what I'm expecting to see. But I think he's going okay. I gave him a bare pass mark for his game. Paddy Dow, I believe it's a career high in disposals. He had 24, and it was interesting. I know that we've lost poorly, and it will reflect badly. But I thought he did well. I really did. I thought he showed some signs, particularly in that first half. But he went on with it. He didn't completely disappear, and I loved his kicking. He really has found a way when he's in space to lower the eyes, and he kicked some bullets, which was good to see. I gave him a 6 for his game. Matt Kennedy, not his best. Kicked our first goal, and then he just kind of didn't really get himself in the contest, which was interesting. I thought North Melbourne would be a pretty good opponent for him because they're tough and physical, but he just couldn't get into the game. I don't really know what happened. He's had a good month. Ultimately, he's probably been asked to play a bit more forward as well. That might be why he didn't get as much of the ball. He's kicked 2 goals. I don't know. I felt like he could have done more. I don't know. My gut instinct tells me that it was a 4, but you can share your thoughts with me there. We've got the bench. Nick Newman, Samo, Owies and Cottrell. Newman, I didn't notice him at all in the first quarter. He pinned a player in that third quarter with 3:30 to go. He led the team for tackles with 8 tackles, which is important. Played with that spirit, that defensive spirit, I guess. I gave him a pass mark. I didn't really notice him, but when I sort of watched it again, I took solace in the fact that he found that minimum standard, and yeah, it's hard. It's so hard. Samo didn't kick that goal in the first with 8:15 to go. Didn't make the distance. I don't know what happened. I know he's got more of a penetrating kick than that, but whatever. It is what it is. Strong mark with 18:40 to go in that second, but he turned it over with the kick, which was unfortunate. 10 minutes 30 to go in the second. Soft tackle got broken, and he's got a bit of form doing that over the last few weeks. His tackles do not stick like they used to. So that tells me that mentally he's not approaching contests the way he used to be. However, the very next tackle he made in this instance, he pinned Ben Cunnington. So again, you're looking for those responses, and that was good to see and important to note out, because if you're going to, hold something against him, you've got to make sure you see what he does to back it up. He chose not to go in this particular contest in the third quarter, and his man ended up taking the mark. I believe it was number 5. That might be Trent Dumont. That was poor. I have noticed him just give up on certain contests at times, which is not good to see. I think he can work harder. I think he's being a little bit exposed for the lack of work rate at times, and he's one of many, and it's disappointing because he's a highly touted pick. He's a talented guy, but the work rate doesn't match the talent at this stage, so I gave him a 4. Owies, obviously the late in, he had an important set shot early, kicked it, which was good. He forced an important stoppage with 8:50 to go in the second quarter, inside 50, and he works hard. He does work hard. I found a way to give him a pass mark. I don't expect a lot from him, but I think he works hard enough. Cottrell, didn't notice him much in the first quarter. Good entry in the third quarter with 18 minutes to go, and that was kind of it. And it's a difficult one. I get it. You want to reward the running and the effort, and he applies himself, but until that skill level matches up with that work ethic, it's just hard at the moment to watch him play. Some of the entries, some of the kicking is not good to watch. It's frustrating to watch, but I do understand you've got to reward certain things. I just worry that he's the type of player, like how much better is he going to get? I don't know. He could keep working hard and keep chipping away and eventually really become a good player for us, but at the moment it's just a little frustrating. Murph, as I said with Williams, it was hard to grade. He came on after half-time, had his 10 touches, kicked it behind. He hit Nunes for that goal in the fourth quarter with 19:30 to go. I don't know. I don't really know how to grade him. I don't think I am going to grade him. Definitely looks like a guy that came off a couple of weeks off, given his age as well. And, everyone's got their opinion on him playing 300 games. I think he should play, but that's just how I see it. I think we've got many more problems than Mark Murphy playing 300 games. And that's it. That's the player ratings. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll, further the conversation and finalise it there. Don't forget, for those who are interested in winning a cap and the package from Doing a Bit, write a comment about someone that was doing a bit that I haven't pointed out. Put the hashtag Doing a Bit, and that'll tell me that you're interested in actually winning the prize. I'll just pick out one of your comments that resonates with me, and I will send you the package myself. So let's move on from this. Disappointing, but hopefully there's a response next week, and hopefully we can put together something for the fans to get excited about for the preseason and season 2022. So with that, go the Mighty Blues.